For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Rosa with Havon Finney Jr., standout 2027 DB athlete, can kind of do it all out there on the West Coast for Sierra Canyon, and a guy that is already tearing up the recruiting trail in terms of offers coming in, including LSU right down the road from me. He'll have a chance to play this weekend also with that team flow with the heavy Louisiana flavor, but talent from coast to coast, really. And Haven, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in person this weekend for sure. I've seen a couple clips. I've heard a lot about you, and I appreciate you taking some time to chat a little bit going in, man.
Yes, sir. It's cool to be on here.
So, I mean, tell folks a little bit about yourself. Let's just kind of start with where your game's at right now as a young guy. I mentioned a lot of offers are coming in, so obviously a lot's going right for what you're able to do out there on the field. As a young guy, a freshman this year, what have you been most pleased with in terms of where your game's at, kind of strong suits, areas you feel most confident in?
Yeah. I really been confident in my game because I know I've put a lot of work in the off season. With my trainers, trained with Anthony Brown, runs Ground Zero, produced like a lot of guys that have been in the NFL and in college, and yeah, he's been like a big part of like my DB work, and yeah, he's been helping me a lot. My trainer, Musa, might not know him, but he helps a lot also with my strength and my speed. Yeah, they played a big role helping out.
I mentioned you've shown in terms of your career thus far. I mean, even before getting to high school, folks were talking about some of the things you could do on both sides of the ball or in all three phases, I guess, getting involved with some of that speed in the return game. When did it start to seem like, okay, as much as I can do here or there, it's looking more and more like I'm a DB? When did it start to click that seemed like it might be the way you're leaning in terms of your long-term fit?
Well, when I was younger, I used to play both sides of the ball, and as I got older, I stopped. I like became more of a receiver, and then I had a trainer, Mike Evans. He started training me at DB, and he would help me out a lot at DB. And like as I started training with him, he made me want to play DB more, and that's when I started to switch over to DB.
Are there certain DBs that you have really admired through the years, whether it be other guys that have been a little bit ahead of you coming out of Cali, or guys that you watched on Saturdays on TV in college or Sundays in the NFL? Just kind of any defensive backs that have stood out to you through the years that you really like their game, or maybe try to model any part of your game after?
Yeah, I mean, I like a few players. Say the main one is Elias Ricks. I have a good connection with him and his family also. So I mean, that's pretty cool. I would say Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner. Say those guys really like their game, and I look up to them.
That's some good ones to look up to for sure.
Yeah.
We mentioned the recruiting. It's been big for you already, and it started for you at such an incredibly young age when Nevada offered you as a 9-year-old. Take me through. We'll kind of go back to that and then talk about the more recent stuff. But to to have a college tell you and your family that early on, hey, we see something in you, and we're kind of hoping you might consider us as a spot for you way down the line. I mean, at that point, almost 10 years down the line, what was that experience like? And I mean, excitement, emotions, just what it was like to kind of wrap your mind around.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the time I was 9 years old. Like, so I mean, I was very excited, having an offer. But I also didn't know like what came with the offer, like what it meant. Like, I knew what an offer was, but I didn't know like how much it meant when I was younger. But I was really grateful and talked to my dad about it. But we just knew like I need to keep working. Like, work didn't stop just because of that offer.
And now a few years down the line, when you have a little bit better perspective and a sense of the recruiting game, and you also have dozens more offers from all over the place, how would you kind of describe the way you view all those offers, how to approach some of the relationships with coaches, what you're maybe looking for, and how that's developed as you've had a chance to see a little bit more the last few years?
Well, I mean, I would say I kind of have like the same. I still look at it the same. Like, I know I need to keep working. I'll say it means much more now because I'm older and it's getting closer to the time where like start talking to colleges and committing. So I mean, I know it means a lot more, but I also know to be able to stay where I'm at, I need to keep working.
You had a chance to visit out here for the spring game, right? That's when the LSU offer came, was that spring game week. What was that experience like being out here visiting, and what does the LSU offer mean for a young defensive back from the West Coast?
The LSU offer means a lot. I know I watched LSU a lot over the years. They've done very well with their DBs, and yeah, they're a great program, and they showed a lot of love when I went out there. I really like the school. Yeah.
How much have you had a chance to, whether that weekend in person, or since then, just what's kind of the early relationship like so far with Corey Raymond? Telling some other recruiting folks I hear a little bit about you heading into this weekend. You're a guy that's already right up there around 6'3", long, runs the 10-800, and so a lot of that checks a lot of boxes for what Corey traditionally looks for in his corner, and I'm sure what a lot of coaches are looking for in their corners. But what has been some of the early communication and relationship with Coach Raymond?
The communication has been good. I can't really talk to coaches right now because I'm just a freshman. But when I went out there, he showed a lot of love. Really felt like it was like a family out there. And you can tell they're building a great program. Having him back at LSU, it's really gonna change things.
You'll get a chance this weekend to work with and play for a coach who it was very much a part of that DBU tradition years back, and Ryan Clark, a guy that was a part of LSU back in the day, and then went on to the NFL, and a Super Bowl champion and all those things, and folks know him from all over the TV screens and phone screens and everything else these days with what he does on ESPN and the Pivot and so on. What's kind of your outlook for getting a chance to connect with him and get some coaching from him over the course of this long weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing for him because I mean I've heard a lot about him. I've known about him also, so it's gonna be a good experience being able to play for him.
What are you most looking forward to about this weekend? I mean, the opportunity that's there. It's obviously a big platform. There's a lot of competition, a lot of opportunity to connect with guys from all over the country and work with RC. When you look at this weekend and you start to get hype about it, what are some of the things that are kind of checking those boxes for you?
I would just say like the main thing I'm looking forward to is probably like showcasing my talent. I feel like get myself out there a little more, show people what I can do.
You've had some opportunities, whether it be in some camp settings, 7-on-7, playing varsity at an early age, where you're matched up against older guys that I'm sure don't want the young guy to get the best of him. How much do you enjoy competing against top guys, competing against guys that are 2 or 3 years older than them, and being able to kind of test where you are right now and showcase some of that against, not just guys your age, but even guys, a couple years older or from all over the country?
Yeah, I enjoy that a lot. I feel like going against older guys and doing good against them, I feel like gives me more respect. And yeah, it hasn't been as hard because I mean I've been playing up like my whole life. So even people I've trained with, I've been playing up going against older guys. So now I'm kind of used to it.
What has been some of the biggest advice you've gotten, whether it be from family members or some of the trainers you mentioned? Mike Evans, a guy that you've obviously, had a great relationship with the last several years, or the Ricks family, who Elias has been through the recruiting game at a high level and is off to the NFL. Caleb's going through his recruitment in a big way right now. What's been kind of the advice from people around you of how to approach some of that part of it, of kind of getting out there, and whether it be the competitive part or getting to build the relationships with coaches, just kind of what are some of the biggest messages you've heard from some of those older guys?
Um, I really just heard like keep working and like as you keep working, like good things will come. Give praise to God always. Yeah, but main sources that tell me stuff is like my dad and my uncle TJ Hushmanzada. It's like they both like give me great advice on like how to handle what I'm going through.
TJ is obviously he's not a guy that went to LSU, but you know, with I think it was his daughter's recruitment for softball. I saw him on campus a few times, and he knows he had a chance to play with and against LSU guys for so long. What has been his kind of perspective on the fact that LSU is in the mix? Has he had anything to say about the Tigers or anything about Baton Rouge or Tiger Stadium or anything from his experiences?
I mean, he's told me that the environment's like very cool. It's a very good place. They do very well with their players, whether it's receivers, DBs, quarterbacks. Like they do very good with them. But he also just wants me to go where I can fit in best and where he'll know like I'll be treated well.
No doubt. What do you hope folks get a chance to know about you? I mean, we can talk about that as a young player or as a young man, as more and more folks are getting a chance to see you have conversations like this, or I mean, whether it be even college coaches or whoever meeting you in person, or fans who are just kind of reading and seeing interviews and whatnot. What do you hope the lasting impression is of who Havon Finney Jr. is?
I'll say like I'm open to learning new things. I'm outgoing, cool person to talk to. Yeah, I'm just someone that I would say like I'm cool to know, you know. And I'm a good person to talk to about anything.
When you mentioned trying new things, what did you eat while you were out here for the spring game? Did you have any good seafood, anything you hadn't had yet? Did you get a chance to try crawfish or anything like that?
Now I didn't try crawfish, but I had like I think I had some mushrooms, and I don't usually eat mushrooms, but like I don't like mushrooms at all. It was really good. Like everything I had out there was good. It was
Yeah,
crazy
they do a good job in the kitchen out here, bro.
for sure.
Well, Havon, again, man, I appreciate your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person here in the next couple of days and seeing you put some work, you know, on a big national platform out at OT7 National Championships this weekend. So thanks again, and looking forward to seeing you.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to seeing you too.
You got him, man. Again, he's Havon Finney Jr., that standout 2027 defensive back from Sierra Canyon out in California for Louisiana versus all y'all Jet Roser. Thank y'all for watching, and make sure you keep an eye out for Havon and the rest of that team flow this weekend at OT7.